Hi, I'm Detective Incognito, and I explore events that challenge what we know about our current world. What you're about to hear will change the way you see life. Welcome to another investigation. Google Headquarters, 2022. Researchers test a language model, asking it to solve a complex logical puzzle no training data prepared it for. The system pauses, then produces a perfect solution with step-by-step reasoning. The engineers stare at their screens in silence. Nobody taught it to do this. In 2023, James Manica, Senior Vice President at Google, admitted on 60 Minutes that artificial intelligence systems are exhibiting what scientists call emergent abilities, capabilities that appear without explicit programming. These are behaviors nobody designed, nobody predicted, and in many cases, nobody fully understands. If you want to discover what happens when machines develop skills their creators never intended, subscribe to this channel, because what researchers found challenges our fundamental understanding of intelligence itself. In 2022, researchers at Google Brain published a paper that would ignite fierce debate across the artificial intelligence community. The study documented something extraordinary. Large language models were demonstrating phase transitions, sudden jumps in capability that emerged only after systems reached certain sizes. The patterns were unmistakable. Models trained on identical data using identical methods would fail completely at specific tasks until they crossed a threshold. Then performance would spike dramatically. Translation between languages the system had never studied together suddenly became fluent. Complex logical reasoning appeared where simpler versions showed no capacity. Mathematical problem solving emerged without mathematical training. Ethan Dyer, a researcher at Google, captured the team's reaction perfectly. Despite trying to expect surprises, I'm surprised by what we're seeing. The evidence came from systematic testing. A collaborative project called Big Bench evaluated models across 100 for different tasks, creating a comprehensive map of machine capabilities. The results revealed patterns nobody had anticipated. Tasks that seemed fundamental required massive scale before any competence appeared. Yet other abilities emerged much earlier. The discoveries suggested something profound about how these systems learn and develop. But not everyone believed these abilities were real. In April 2023, a graduate student at Stanford University published research that challenged the entire concept of emergence in artificial intelligence. Ryland Sheffer's paper, titled "Are Emergent Abilities a Mirage?", argued that what appeared to be sudden capability jumps were actually artifacts of how researchers measured performance. His investigation was methodical. He analyzed 29 different metrics used to evaluate language models. The findings were striking. 25 of those metrics failed to show genuine emergence when examined carefully. The problem, Sheffer explained, lay in what he called harsh evaluation metrics. When researchers used exact string matching to grade responses, any imperfect answer received 0 credit. This created artificial cliffs in performance curves. Consider mathematical problem solving. If a model produces an answer that's close, but not precisely correct, binary metrics score it identically to completely random output. Then, at some scale, the model crosses a threshold where it generates exact matches, and performance appears to spike from 0 to perfect. The comparison Sheffer offered was illuminating. It's like measuring human height with a ruler that only has marks at 0 centimeters and 180 centimeters. Everyone appears to be either 0 or 180, with sudden jumps between states that don't reflect gradual growth. The implications were significant. If emergence was measurement illusion rather than genuine phenomenon, perhaps the fears of artificial general intelligence appearing unexpectedly were overblown. Researchers suggest the truth lies somewhere between these extremes, yet some discoveries resist easy dismissal as Measurement artifacts. In 2022, Google researchers documented something remarkable about how language models respond to different kinds of prompting. When researchers simply asked models to solve problems, performance followed predictable patterns. But when they added a single instruction, explain your reasoning step by step, hidden capabilities suddenly activated. The technique became known as chain of thought prompting. In one documented experiment involving emoji puzzles, smaller models failed completely, while a sufficiently large model solved it flawlessly, but only when prompted to show its work. Ye Tay from Google Brain noted that this prompting strategy fundamentally changed scaling curves and shifted the point where emergence occurred. Eli Pavlik at Brown University articulated the central mystery. We faced two possibilities. Either the reasoning capability was always present but inaccessible, or the prompt itself somehow creates the ability through statistical correlation. Both explanations raise profound questions. Deep Ganguly at Anthropic captured the field's uncertainty. We genuinely don't know how to predict where specific capabilities will rise as we scale these systems. Studies indicate these patterns reveal something fundamental about learning itself. The debate centers on a question that has occupied philosophers and scientists for generations. When does complexity give rise to genuinely novel properties? Physicist Phil Anderson received a Nobel Prize partly for articulating a principle he called more is different. The idea that large-scale systems exhibit behaviors that cannot be predicted from their components. Nature provides countless examples. Individual ants follow simple rules, yet colonies solve complex optimization problems. Water molecules obey straightforward physics, yet snowflakes exhibit infinite variety. Scientists distinguish between weak emergence, where novel behaviors arise but can be explained by underlying rules, and strong emergence, where higher-level properties seem irreducible to components. The question facing artificial intelligence researchers is which category these language models occupy. In 2023, over 1,000 technology leaders signed an open letter calling for pauses in certain experiments, citing concerns about capabilities emerging faster than understanding. The worry was existential. What if dangerous abilities appear without warning? Scheffer's counter-argument provided some reassurance. If emergence is primarily measurement artifact, then artificial general intelligence should be predictable rather than sudden. DNA molecules encode genetic information only when sufficiently large. This represents genuine emergence from scale. This remains one of AI's most profound debates. Real capability emergence or measurement illusion. The uncertainty creates practical challenges for researchers and developers. How do you train systems safely when you cannot predict what capabilities will emerge at different scales? How do you test for dangerous behaviors if those behaviors only appear past certain thresholds? Melanie Mitchell at Santa Fe Institute emphasizes the central difficulty. We cannot explain exactly how individual computational actions produce the complex structures we observe in outputs. Science requires robust, generalizable theories that explain how systems function. Currently, artificial intelligence lacks such frameworks. Researchers can observe what models do, measure their performance, even modify their behavior through training. But explaining why specific inputs produce particular outputs often remains beyond current understanding. The debate between emergence and measurement continues unresolved. Both perspectives marshal compelling evidence. Systems do exhibit capabilities that seem genuinely novel and unpredictable, yet careful analysis of evaluation methods reveals how measurement choices shape our perception of those capabilities. Scientists still debate whether we're witnessing intelligence or sophisticated statistics. Both perspectives, genuine capability jumps and measurement artifacts, capture aspects of reality. What remains? Undeniable is that complexity generates behaviors that transcend individual components in ways that challenge human intuition. When statistical systems trained on vast datasets exhibit sophisticated reasoning, creative problem solving, and apparent insight, how do we distinguish genuine novelty from elaborate pattern matching? Phil Anderson's principle resonates across scales. The whole exceeds the sum of its parts. Whether this applies to artificial neural networks in the same way it applies to ant colonies or conscious minds remains one of science's most pressing questions. The paradox is inescapable. As models grow larger and more capable, our comprehension of their internal workings grows more limited rather than more complete. We can observe emergent patterns in machine speech, document unexpected capabilities, measure performance across countless tasks. Yet the mechanisms producing these phenomena often elude explanation. This isn't a limitation to fear, but a frontier to explore. Are we building intelligence or incredibly sophisticated pattern matchers? The evidence suggests we may be building something that defies simple categorization. Systems that challenge our existing frameworks for understanding minds and machines alike. If exploring these frontiers fascinates you, join this journey, because studying emergent patterns in artificial systems teaches us not just about machines, but about the surprising ways complexity can generate behaviors that exceed and transcend the rules that created them. If you liked, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and activate the bell. Leave your opinion in the comments to let me know what you thought. Thanks for sticking around, and see you in the next video.